One, 1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right, no matter what, we airtight. So when you hear something, make sure you hear it right. Don't make an ass out of yourself by assuming our music keeps you moving. What are you proving? You know that I'm 2 levels above you, baby. Hug me, baby, I'ma make you love me, baby. Talking crazy ain't gonna get you nothing but choke. And that jealousy is only gonna leave you broke. So the only thing left now is God for these cats. And babe, you know you're too hard for these cats. I'ma win cause I'm too smart for these cats. While they making up facts.
Oh, is my mic not on? Oh, sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another New York Knicks pregame show. It is time to finally get this thing started after Wednesday night's anomaly. I don't want to call that a basketball game. I'm just going to call that an anomaly. It was the game of the year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Knicks lost 138 to 135 in overtime to the Indiana Pacers. It was an absolute disgrace. One of the worst fourth quarters I've ever seen from the Knicks. Absolutely cannot happen again, but let's not waste any time. Because we did not do a post-game show, let's dive into Game 1 again. Tyrese Halliburton obviously hit the game-tying shot, which he thought was a game winner as he hit the infamous Reggie Miller choke pose. Jalen Brunson put up a 40 ball, but the real savior of the game was Aaron Nesmith. Aaron Nesmith with 30 points. He hit 8 of 9 from 3. He shot better than pretty much everybody on the floor. And the way that he played in that fourth quarter was the stuff of legends. You may never see that stuff ever again. But regardless, we still have more games to go. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. All that good stuff. Let's not waste any time, and let's jump right into tonight's matchup. Game 2. It is an absolute must-win game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because you just lost Game 1 on your home floor. That is absolutely inexcusable. You blew a 14-point lead with like 3 minutes left. That is just absolutely inexcusable. You cannot let that happen again. And if you do let that happen again, you're going to probably either lose the series or get swept. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just thinking about that game just pisses me off. I don't know how the hell they lost that game, but they did. Like I mentioned earlier, Game 2 is an absolute must-win game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is that simple. You win tonight at all costs. You win by any means necessary. You go out and play your best brand of basketball tonight, this time for 4 quarters. 3.5 quarters is great, but we're going to need more than that. You're going to have to play for all 4 quarters. No half-assing anything. You have to play your best game of basketball tonight. Tonight. Don't waste any time. Foot on their necks tonight. Go up by 20 early. Just play your best brand of basketball. It is really not that difficult. Just do exactly what you did in Game 1, except hold on to the lead. Don't waste any time. Win the game, and that's really all I got to say about that. Because this game is going to determine the series, no doubt about it. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into our next topic, and that is fixing the mistakes of the last game. I've went back and I've watched that game several times. The main reason that the Knicks lost that game was simply because of the fact that they kept turning the ball over down the stretch. They were missing a lot of free throws. They were just playing very, 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 very selfish basketball. I did not like the way that they were refusing to swing the floor. They weren't, passing the ball well. They kept turning it over. It got very frustrating. And it's something that I do not want to see again. You're going to have to play your absolute best in Game 2 tonight after that embarrassment that I don't want to talk about. It hurts my soul just thinking about that game. Like, I've seen some bad losses, but I think that one had to have been the worst loss I've ever seen as a Knicks fan. And I just hope that's not the case. You have to go out and play your best. Jalen Brunson going to score 40 points a game. But Aaron Nesmith also isn't hitting that many three-pointers again. We all know that as a fact. And if he does, then I deserve to just get, my wrists cut off. TJ McConnell is obviously the main factor that I'm worried about coming off this Pacers bench because he is known to be a very slippery one. He is fast. He can score. He can play lockdown defense. He is a very forceful player and somebody that I do not like him at all. He's very frustrating to watch. He's frustrating to play against. And you really don't have any. I don't really have anything good to say about TJ McConnell because that dude just absolutely murders us. Every time he plays us, he just crushes us, It's not good. It's very aggravating to just continue to see this happening game after game after game after game after game. Like, something's going to have to give when it comes to this Knicks team, especially when they play down the stretch, in the fourth quarter. They were up by about 17 points, So I really don't know how to feel about, a game like this when you're coming off of the worst loss probably in franchise history. I mean, you gave up 17 points in about 2.5 minutes. It's very, very, very frustrating, and I don't know how. The only way you can respond to a game like this is to just go out and blow them by 25 or more. But without further ado, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back in about 60 seconds.
Woke up the snow, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be there, chosen.
Swing on a fly ball to right field, pretty well hit. Freeland back at the wall. He jumps. It's gone. He did it. He did. Swinging a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall.
Woke up the snow, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you're looking good, baby. I believe that you're feeling fine. Shade my light, moon under a bad sound. Blue moon in your eyes, just sing it now.
Tell me! And cut the
Ross McDowell struggled all 82. The Knicks not make the playoffs and fucking somebody ruptures some. I would rather all of that shit.
Intercepted! Twisted Ray! Welcome back to the Knicks pregame show presented by the Final Whistle. After coming off of the most embarrassing loss I've ever witnessed as a Knicks fan, we just got to, flush that game down the toilet and focus on the now and what's next. And what's next is game 2. Just a bad loss in game 1, but we have to move on and fix the mistakes. And we touched on about it a little bit, but not as much as I'd like to admit in terms of, because there's really not that many mistakes to fix, except holding on to the ball in the final 2 minutes, knocking down your free throws. Because, by the way, the Knicks had almost 40 free throws. They missed 12 of them. You can't win a game if you're missing 12 free throws. And to make matters worse, they went 28 for 40 from the free throw line. They shot 11 for 34 from 3. They shot 48 for 51% from the field. They were having such a good game, and then in the fourth quarter, final 2 minutes, they just collapsed. Straight up collapsed. And then in overtime, they didn't have fight in overtime. And it was really frustrating to watch that. To see your team just slowly start to tilt the wrong way a bit as the game was getting down the stretch and it became close to crunch time. And I didn't know how to react about it. I felt very frustrated watching something like that. So you're going to have to go out there and play a much better brand of basketball than whatever the hell you played the other night on Wednesday. So without further ado, let's jump into our next topic, and that is, can the Knicks win in Indiana, which is something that they have not done in 25 years. They have not won a single game in Indiana in the postseason since 1999, because I went and did the research. 2024, they lost 3 games in Indiana, infamously losing games Game 3 to the Andrew Nemhard shot. Game 4, they got blown out by like 30 points. Game 6, same thing. 2013, they lost all 3 games in Indiana as well, as the infamous Roy Hibbert blocking Carmelo Anthony at the rim, which still gives me nightmares. I mean, I'm never going to be over that game unless the Knicks beat the Pacers in the playoffs for once. And in 2000, Eastern Conference Finals, they did not win a single game there either. So if they do end up winning this game, they're going to have to still win a game in Indianapolis, which they have not been able to do in 25 years. And that to me is incredibly concerning. I'm sorry if I'm yawning. I had a pretty long day. So I got to get this game going on, So we're kind of, feeling it out a bit. The nerves are there for sure. But it's going to come down to whether or not the Knicks wanted this game or not. Because Indiana went out and punched you in the mouth. They did. You had a game in the palm of your hands. It was out there waiting for you to just grasp it. You had game 1-1. You were up by 17. It was right there in front of you. And then you just let it slip. Completely let it slip. Or as Tyrese Halliburton made it very clear, you choked it. You flat out choked it. And that cannot happen again. I know it's only game 1, and I'm not overly concerned about that more than I was before. But, I mean, come on. You cannot let that happen. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, and it's very frustrating that that's what it has come down to. Is that now, until this game starts, you're known for being the team that choked a 14-point lead in the final 2 minutes. It hurts. It hurts like I just punched my fist on my desk. It really hurts that this is what you're known for. So you're going to have a lot of work to do, go out there and play, a better brand of basketball than, again, whatever the hell you did the other night, because that was just flat out embarrassing. That was disgusting. That was pathetic. That was awful. I don't ever want to see that again. Tyrese Halliburton has you by the throats now. You're going to have to go out there and execute. You have to make good shots. You have to play better down the stretch. Go out there and play a much better brand of basketball than whatever the hell you played on Wednesday night in the final 2 minutes. And it becomes that there's no sense of urgency whatsoever. Especially the way they played on Wednesday. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the predictions. This is about to get good. So, we were very wrong about our predictions. I said Knicks were going to win. They did not. In fact, they obviously pulled off probably the most humiliating loss I've ever witnessed as a Knicks fan. So it's all going to come down to just how they play down the stretch, especially in the fourth quarter. How will band show up tonight? If you're in the comments, drop your predictions and I will read them off for the chat. If you're in there, just drop your predictions and I will read them off. I'm expecting a very gritty contest. I think the Knicks do pull this one out. I'm going to go 117 to 112. I think it's going to be somewhere around those lines. I think it'll be a little bit less scoring than the last game where they blew the 17-point lead in the final 2 minutes. That was just Pacers by 50. Oh, that would really suck if that happened. Just go out there and play your best brand of basketball. That's all the time we have for tonight's pre.